And one. Dude, I woke up this morning like extra early. I shouldn't say that. That's not true. Because I woke up at the same time, which is 3 a.m. But everything I did was like ahead of the game. So I got into the studio extra early. Does that make sense? Like, yeah, I worded that wrong. But let's just say I've been ahead of the game all morning, even though I woke up at the same time. Everything just kind of flowed today. It's one of those days, right? So I know it's going to be a great day. Went downstairs, grabbed my hashtag Rise and Grind planner, as I always do. And my favorite part of the hashtag Rise and Grind planner is right up at the top. When you get up to the top, you'll see a quote or a Bible verse or something contributed by an actual Rise and Grind member. And so today's quote was contributed by a guy named Mr. Rod Dixon. And here's what he submitted. He submitted, "Education is not knowing everything, but knowing where to find the answers." And I think I 100% believe that. Not only do I 100% believe that, but I think the wisest people on the planet will be the first people to tell you they don't know everything. It is the people that act as if they know everything. Those are the ones that seem to be struggling. They're not growing. They're not learning, right? I love saying this all the time. In my 20s, I believed I knew everything. In my 30s, I started to realize I actually do know a few things. And now that I'm in my 40s, I realize I know absolutely nothing. And that's the reality, man. There is so much wisdom to be gained out there. Student for life right here. Sign me up. With that said, let's dive in. Today's episode of hashtag Rise and Grind. Thanks, Rod. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? See, there's no excuse for you not pushing yourself to the next level. In order for you to create a new you must have a new mindset. When teams come together, we can create things that are greater than the sum of all of their parts. Good morning and welcome to hashtag Rise and Grind. I am your host, Glenn Lundy. I am a husband to one, a father to 8, and the creator of what is going to be the #1 most watched morning show in the world. It is 5:30 a.m. and I hope that you are ready to rise and grind. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you, my friend? How are you, my friend? Dude, today is Monday. That's right. Today is Monday, October 25th, 2021. And what's crazy is today is the very first and the very last time it'll ever be Monday, October 25th, 2021. So I want to make sure we make the absolute most. And I do mean the absolute most of this absolutely incredible day. Listen, I hope you had an amazing weekend. I do. I hope you had an amazing weekend. I hope it was over the top. I hope it was one of those spectacular weekends that you'll remember for a lifetime. We here in the Lundys, we drove up to Dayton, Ohio. About a 2.5 hour drive. Not terrible, right? Loaded up in the Mercedes Sprinter van. Drove up 2.5 hours to Dayton, Ohio because my son, Joel Bryant, had a soccer tournament. So we went out for the soccer tournament. Lots of fun with the Lundys, right? We don't let them have, the kids don't have like iPads and devices like that at home. None of them, they don't have any phones or nothing like that. But when we're on the road, we'll give them an iPad or we'll give them a device so that they can chill out, right? So the road trips are great. Me and Mama just get to sit up front and talk while the kids are back there on devices. But it was cool. But getting there, once you get there, it can be a little bit daunting, right? Because we've got a really big family. We got to figure out the hotel situation. And so we typically have to get 2 rooms unless we do an Airbnb or something, right? And so for this particular trip, we got 2.5 hour drive, a whole bunch of snacks, some iPads, and 2 hotel rooms. And along the way, as we're on our way up there and throughout the weekend, it's kind of pouring rain, right? Out there at the field, it's pouring rain, which was okay. It was okay. The hotel had a tiny little indoor swimming pool, which was super loud and echoey, by the way, right? Super loud and echoey. And grandma and grandpa, my mom and my stepdad, they ended up coming up on Sunday to watch the game with us, which was cool and you know, a little chaotic for them as well. Here it is, pouring rain, and they're out there trying to figure out these fields. We tried to go eat at Cheesecake Factory after the game, but there was no way because we're a party of 11 everywhere we roll. It's hard for us to get in anywhere to eat anything. And so lots of crazy things, lots of crazy stuff. Joel's soccer team did not have a good weekend whatsoever. They scored 1 goal between the 3 games that we watched them play. And with all that said, dude, I wouldn't freaking trade it for anything. I would not trade that weekend for anything. I mean, on the way back, we stopped at Dave & Buster's, right? Stopped at Dave & Buster's and watched some football games and watched the kids run around and play, you know, and have a good time. And I got to eat some strawberry shortcake. Yep, that's right. I sure did. And along the way, there was just some, you know, along the way there and back, my wife and I just kind of like singing in the car, right? Singing in the car, which is something we get to do all the time. And my daughter, Savannah, I got to tell you, she really took the lead on this trip, you know, with the other kids. She was really, really, really helpful with the other kids. And that was cool, right? Like, that was cool to watch her. She's going to be, she just turned 12. She'll be a teenager soon, but she's a good big sister, you know. She really took the lead. And so there were many priceless moments throughout the weekend. And to me, that's what weekends are for, right? Like, that's what the weekend's about. It's about creating moments that you can remember. You know, for 20-something years, I worked on the weekends. And that was my goal there, too. If I'm going to work the weekend, I am going to try and create moments I can remember. And there are many of them that we were able to create and that I do remember, including when we sold our 1,000th car in Paris, Kentucky. Tiny little Paris, Kentucky. 1,000 cars. 1,043 total, 27 business days. But when we sold that 1,000th car, that was on a Saturday night, man. And I got to tell you, it was a moment that'll last for a lifetime, right? So the weekends are about creating those moments you can remember. And speaking of moments to remember, January 6th, 2018.
Man, I got a bright sticking light.
I went live for the very first time with this show right here, hashtag Rise and Grind.
Good morning, Lundy.
I went live at 5:33 a.m. to be exact. And it was an incredibly uncomfortable situation. Incredibly uncomfortable. The light was bright. I had just woken up a few minutes before that. It was cold. It's crazy. But if you go back and watch this video, I'm playing it on the Facebook side right now. You'll see the lettering was backwards on the chalkboard. It was incredibly uncomfortable. And also one of the best decisions I ever made in my entire life. And since then, today marks the 991st episode of that show. 991 episodes that have helped impact and transform literally millions of lives around the world. And as I look at that, I think, my goodness, to think that it all started with one very uncomfortable decision. That's it. One uncomfortable decision to go live at 5:30 a.m. Eastern Time from a utility closet in my house. Ladies and gentlemen, in this week's series, I present to you #Rise and Grind. Yes!
Wake up.
That music's too loud. Before we go too far, though, y'all know what we got to do on this show. Tony with the keys. That's what I'm talking about. Listening in IG and Clubhouse. Y'all are crazy. Y'all are all over the place. All right, check it out. For those of you that know, and those of you that don't know, this is the part of the show where I need you to hit that share button. All right? I need you to hit that share button. Because I believe if we can change the way people start their day, it'll make a massive impact on this planet. I truly believe that. And sometimes all it takes to change the way somebody starts their day is for you to hit that share button. So if you're on Facebook, share it out. Instagram, share it out. If you're over on Clubhouse, hit the plus sign in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Go ahead. Just start pinging folks in here, okay? I'll do it with you. Ping, 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 right? Ping, 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 ping. Just keep pinging. Ping, 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 ping. Get some different people up in here, okay? Because you never know. You just might change the way they start their day, okay? So go ahead and do that. That would be greatly appreciated. This is also the part of the show where I want to say good morning to you, and I want you to say good morning to me. Whether you're watching live or you're watching on replay, say what's up. I'll say what's up back. What's up, Michael O'Brien? Yes, the Raiders look amazing. What's up, Scott Lumley? Great to see you this morning. How you doing, G.I.? Great to see you. And of course, over here on Facebook, I see Marilyn Wilkin. I see Kimberly Hatfield. Lydia Best. Good morning, Lydia. How you doing, Marion Ann Washington? Great to see you this morning. What's up, West Storm? Great to see you. Cheryl Alexander. Joyce Rose Wallace. Great to see you this morning. What's up, Mark James? Vicky Everett. Jojo La Riccia. What's up, Savvy Sophia? My man Marcus Ellis. How you doing, Amanda Sanner? Great to see you. Great to see you. What's up, Two Sons Too Many? Who else we got? Carmen.tv. Social Stars is in the building. And over on Clubhouse, Sarah McCord, my boy Ramon is in the house. What's up, Justin, Dr. Sean, and Tamra? Dr. Rowe and Dr. Janie. Brielle is up in here. How you doing, David and Dora Maria? What's up, Linda and Nabia? I see Scott and Lily and Lauren and Anthony and Christina and Marcus and Monica. Good morning, Kimberly. Good morning, Sharon. Good morning, Dr. Anoop. Great to see you as well. I'm skipping down. I see Sharice is in the building. Good morning, Sharice. Great to see you. What's up, Tim? How you doing? Grazia. Great to see you as well. And I see Eric and Chris and Katie and Anthony and Mindy. And over on Instagram, I'm back over here. I see Irie, Mon67, Fab Realtor. Great to see you. Yes, I know. 9 episodes of #Rise and Grind left. Crazy. Joan Goebel is up in here. Jamila Ball Allen, John Gayheimer, Mike Higdon. Great to see you. I also see, I already said your name. Tom Popelka. Great to see you. What's up, Anne Marie Clements and Michael Wilder? Everybody's up in here on #Rise and Grind. Great to see you this morning. I'm hoping that I get to see you live in Lexington, Kentucky, November 5th, 6th, and 7th. That is just 9 days away. We will be celebrating 9 weekdays away. We will be celebrating the 1,000th episode of #Rise and Grind, followed by the Grow for God Conference. It's going to be incredible, spectacular. You don't want to miss it. Make sure you come check it out. Shaka Dyson on the stage. Danelle Delgado in the building. Dave Meltzer in the spot. Me and Tamra and many of your other Breakfast with Champions beasts are going to be up in there. It's going to be amazing. So make sure you come join us. If you can't make it live, then you can get the virtual And when you get the virtual, you can get all the recordings so you can go back and watch it even if you're busy that weekend. All right. Go to growforgod.com. Growforgod.com. Go right now. You're going to have about 40 seconds as we segue in this show. So go to growforgod.com, get your virtual tickets or your in-person tickets, and I'll see you there. Fair enough? Fair enough.
Good morning, Glenn Lundy. It is 5:30 in the morning. I wanted to see who else is up and who else is grinding.
Go out there, chase those visions, live a life where you thrive, not just survive. Hashtag rise and grind.
Going on just about 15 years ago, I got a phone call. And some of you have heard this story before. If you've followed me for a while, you most likely have. But this is the phone call that transformed everything for me. 15 years ago, I got a phone call, and the phone on the other end of the phone was my mom, and she was letting me know that my grandfather, Al Smith, was going to die. That the hospital, he'd been in the hospital, he'd been battling cancer, and they had told him he had moments left to live. And so my mom told me that I should figure out a way to get back to Arizona for the funeral, etc., all of those things. Now, this was obviously heartbreaking. My grandfather was an incredible man. He was in the military basically the entire life. His entire life he served our country. He was in the Army and served in multiple wars, and then even after coming out of the Army, he continued to serve through the American Legion and lots of other ways. My entire family's military. I'm literally like the only one that didn't join the military. And all of that was sparked by my grandfather. He was a taller man, about just over 6 foot tall, and he wore a shirt and tie every single day of his life that I ever saw him. I mean, even on a Sunday morning, he would come out of his room in a shirt and tie and read his newspaper and drink his coffee. I never saw him not in a shirt and tie. My grandfather was married to my grandmother for 49 years, and the entire time they were married, she never had a driver's license. She never had a job. She never had any of those things. And it wasn't because she couldn't have those things. It was because my grandfather and her did everything together. Literally everything. It was unnecessary for them to have any type of separate life. They woke together. They went to bed together. They served together. It was beautiful, really. And so when I heard my grandfather was going to pass away, obviously that's not something that you want to hear, especially considering he was my hero. And so after I found out, it took me roughly about a day and a half to get everything coordinated, get on a plane, and make my way across the country to Arizona. And I remember when I got to the hospital, I remember walking into the room, and there was my grandfather laying in this hospital bed, and I really didn't even recognize the guy on the table. He had that gown on, that hospital gown that they make you wear that's got like the flaps in the back, and there were tubes coming in and out of every orifice of his body. His skin was pale and basically like translucent and was kind of hanging off of his body. He was probably 80 pounds lighter, maybe more, 80 or 90 pounds lighter than I had ever seen him before. I did not recognize the man on the table. His eyes were sunken into his head. It was awful. But he was still alive. Unexpectedly, even though they had said he had moments left to live, a day and a half later, he was still alive. And I wasn't the last one to arrive at the hospital. There were other family members. Like I told you earlier, we were all military. So there were other family members in other parts of the country. And it took my Aunt Julie a little bit longer to arrive. And when she arrived, she was the last living relative. Everybody was there. My aunts, my uncles, my cousins, my sister, everybody, right? And my Aunt Julie was the last one to arrive. And when she arrived, we all went into my grandfather's room after sitting and kind of waiting in the lobby for a couple days, right? Just waiting for him to pass away or what was next. And once everybody got there, we went into the room where my grandfather was laying in the bed. And we stood around in a semicircle around my grandfather's bed. And as we stood in that semicircle, my grandfather then said, "Everett," which is my stepdad, "will you come tell me my favorite joke?" Now, I told you my grandfather was military, and in the military, they like to tell dirty jokes. So if you got a kid in the car or something, you get offended easily, please bear with me. I'm just sharing with you a true story. And so my stepdad walked over, and he said to my grandpa, he said, "Al, what do you call Moby Dick's father?" And my grandpa smiled, and he said, "Whatever. What do you call Moby Dick's father?" And my stepdad leaned in and he said, "Papa Boner." Oh, man. And we all chuckled and we all laughed just a little bit. You had to know and understand my grandfather. So we all laughed a little bit, and the tears were just pouring down our eyes. And then my grandfather says, "Bring me my wife." And my grandmother, Betty Smith, all 4'2" of her, tiny little woman, she goes walking across the room and she climbs into bed with my grandfather. And as he wrapped his arms around her, he passed away. Now, I share this story with you today for two reasons. It's one of the most impactful experiences of my entire life. And I share it with you today for two reasons. There was two lessons that I learned from that experience. The first lesson that I learned from that experience is that we are, without a doubt, spiritual beings. You can't argue with me. You're not going to try to prove me different. It's impossible, because science cannot explain to me how my grandfather, who had moments left to live, was able to wait until the very last family member arrived. 2.5 days. My grandfather, who had moments left to live, was able to be told his favorite joke and was given the honor of being able to die with his wife of 49 years wrapped in his arms. Science can't explain that to me. We are, without a doubt, spiritual beings. That was the first major thing I learned from that. And the second major thing that I learned from that is we are most comfortable in life right before death. You see, there was a moment, and it wasn't long, but there was a moment where my grandfather all of a sudden was comfortable as he was being told his favorite joke. As he was wrapping his arms around his wife, all of a sudden it was like the lights came back on. His sunken eyes weren't so sunken anymore. It was like his deflated body filled back up. The pain all of a sudden went away. The guy on the table was my grandfather. I recognized him. Leading up to that, he was unrecognizable, but all of a sudden he was comfortable right before death. And I will never, ever, ever forget that experience. Because I sit here and I see people like you and people like me getting comfortable, seeking comfort, And I think to myself, dude, I'm not ready to die yet. I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to die yet. You see, hashtag rise and grind is all about seeking discomfort in many areas of your life. Seeking, like searching for discomfort. Where can I change myself? What can I commit to that scares me? What can I do every single day that's hard? Why? Why do I need to do things hard every day? Why? Is it because I think I'm some type of bad ASS? That's why I need to do hard things? No! You need to do hard things because what you practice, you get better at. It's simple as that. And so if you practice pushing yourself, then when the world comes at you, you're already an expert at handling your stuff, which is not the word I wrote down. I'm going to say that for you one more time. Whatever you practice, you get better at. As simple as that. When you practice pushing yourself, then when the world comes at you, you are already an expert and you can handle your stuff. You see, waking up early isn't about being a bad ASS. It's about discipline. Reading books to stretch your mind. Meeting new networks of people that might be uncomfortable but can unlock doors to the next greatest version of yourself. Going live at 5:30 a.m. and what that can do. The 67-day challenge. 5 simple steps every single morning. Pushing yourself just a little bit each and every day. Listen, 1 year ago, I couldn't run anywhere, and I was 20 pounds overweight. 9 months ago, I also had knee issues, and I could run a little bit further. I was starting to be able to run a little bit, but I was still overweight. 6 months ago, I was able to run a little bit further and a little bit faster. Started working on my knees. The pain was still there and the weight was still there. 3 months ago, I lost the weight. My knees feel better. Shout out to Sarah McCord for helping with that. And yesterday, while I was in Dayton, Ohio, I ran 3.1 miles in 25 minutes. Out there on a beautiful trail called the Mad River Trail, where I got to see the city at the sunrise. It was incredible. I had told my wife I was going for a run. She's like, "You're not going for a run. We're on a family little weekend in Dayton. You didn't bring your running shoes." I said, "You better believe I did." Because I'm now starting to really understand it just a little bit each and every single day. Over the years with hashtag Rise and Grind, we stumbled on a pattern, my friends. We stumbled on a pattern. See, if you rise each and every day with intention and purpose, then you will begin to evolve into the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be, which will then cause an impact, a ripple effect. It will start to make a positive impact on everyone around you, friends, family members, coworkers, every person you come in contact with. And the best part is, with hashtag Rise and Grind, it's not something you have to do alone. It's something that we can all do together. These 4 words are a pattern. These 4 words are a cheat code. These 4 words will completely transform your life. Rise, evolve, impact, together. You see, these 4 words are the cheat code to a fulfilled life. They are a cheat code to a purposeful life. They are the cheat code for an intentional life. They are the cheat code for an uncomfortable existence. And when you live in an uncomfortable existence every single day, like my grandfather did, you will leave a legacy where people will share your story and the mark that you left behind. You see, there is so much more inside of you. You are a child of God, the God of the universe, the God that made everything. And that God made you to be the absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. Not an average version, not an above average, not a below average. The absolute best version of yourself that you can possibly be. And see, when you decide to step into that, when you decide to rise, evolve, and impact together, when you make that decision every single day, it matters. It matters. You matter. Your life matters. And so it's been the most tremendous experience of my life, getting to spend my mornings with you. And I am so excited to continue sharing my mornings with you. I'm not stopping. Rise, evolve, impact together. I am so excited to continue sharing my mornings with you because together we're making a global impact. Now, sometimes the vehicle changes and the way we get there might change, the systems or the processes, but ultimately the mission stays the same. And so, my friends, know that I love you. If nobody's told you that yet today, I want to be the first. I absolutely stinking love you. And I believe in you. So continue to step into those uncomfortable spaces. No longer seek that which is comfortable. And together, let's go out there and make a massive impact on this planet. Fair enough? Fair enough. Listen, if you need more videos like this, you can go to glennlundy.com. If you want to discuss this further, meet me over on Clubhouse. I'm going to go hang out over there for a little while. We're going to chit chat about all of these amazing things. All right. Now go out there and have an incredible day today. And then I'll see you again tomorrow morning at 5:30 a.m. as we do this all over again on hashtag Rise and Grind. Fair enough? Fair enough. Let's go.
Good morning, on my feet before the sunrise, stepping